Hello everyone, welcome to a new process video today. And actually it's kind of a combination of planning and process video. Planning in terms of what the heck am I going to do? So what I have here is some TNs. And for the last couple of years I have been doing a TN about the books I read. And for last year, 2019, it took me 2 of these in order to fit in all my books, because what I was predominantly doing was a 2-page layout for each of them, unless perhaps I didn't finish the book. Maybe it would get a 1-page layout, or if I didn't like it, it might only get a 1-page. But predominantly, I did a 2-page layout. And if you followed along, you've seen a lot of those already. So here's the problem. I set up my reading goal on Goodreads. In 2019, I believe my goal was 22 and I read 24. So for this year, I set it for 24, thinking, hopefully I'll get there, but maybe I'll have more. If that is the case, there's no way there's enough pages in here to do a 2-page spread for all those. I'm going to have to switch to a 1-page for pretty much everything. If I were to only read the 24 that are my goal, I'd have a couple extra, single pages maybe in there that I could use for a front page and a closing page, and maybe 1 or 2 layouts that are 2 pages, but that's about it. So I have to switch to smaller photos and do a 1-page layout for each. Now I do have a couple 1-pagers in here. Like here's an example from 2019. So I didn't finish this book, so it only got a 1-page. I did use a somewhat normal size photo, however. And then on this side, I was just talking about Chirp, which is an audiobook service similar to Audible. So I have that as a 1-page. So I mean, it's certainly doable. I have to write a lot smaller and again, make the photos smaller, but it is doable. So I think that's what's going to happen. This is the TN I've selected. I believe this is from Felicity Jane. Don't quote me on that, but it looks like them. And I know I did order some at some point, and it's got the rounded edges like they do. So I think that's where this one is from. So I'm going to start with that. And I already had some pictures in here of books I've read that I thought I was going to use. I'm going to have to redo those, either crop them down or reprint to make them about a 2x2 size in order to get them to fit. So this is what I had planned originally for the first book of the year, was that I would do 2 pages. So I already had this picked out to match, and then this was my photo. So I'm going to keep one of those since I'm moving to a 1-page, save the other for something else, and then I will cut out this part of the photo, which will make it much smaller. It'll fit better, and it gives me more room to embellish and journal. And I'm okay with it for now. If I decide at some point I don't like it, I can always switch to another TN. But I'd really love to keep 1 per year rather than 2 per year. So I think this is the road that I have to take. All right, I have cut down the photo. It's much smaller. Now, given the background paper I've picked out, I definitely need to mat this. So I will do a white border, probably about 1/8 inch all the way around, just so it stands out a little better. And then I'll go from there. All right, I have adhered the paper on this single side, and then I matted my photo. The photo ended up being about 1 3/4 by 1 3/4, so a little bit smaller than 2x2 like I thought it would be, but that's okay. And it definitely does show up better with the white behind it, so I'm glad I did that. But I'm not exactly sure if I want it up here or down here or where, and how much journaling and what else I'm going to add. So I think the smarter way would be to not adhere that yet, pull out all my embellishment stuff, figure out what I want to do, and then work around it that way. I have pulled out my, I don't know what you call this, just a clear bag. It's from clearbags.com, so I guess clear bag, page protector, whatever you want to use. I have pulled that out, and it has all of my book-related embellishment type stuff in it. And I have also taken out my book-related stamps. I keep them together in the same iris bin, so that when I want that theme, I can find it. So I've pulled out all that stuff, and now I'll start looking at what I want to use. I pulled out a bunch of these self-adhesive wood veneer pieces, and these came from Colorcast Designs. They made them in 2019. I don't exactly remember when. No idea if they're still available, but that is who made them if you like them. And I picked them because there is kind of a brownish tan tone here in some of what's in the photo. And I think I want to use this one that says My Me Time, because I want to talk about, this was my first book of the year and I really enjoyed it, and I find reading so relaxing and I really want to focus on it in 2020, that kind of stuff. So I think I'm going to use that, and I like the way they look together. So I have that piece. And other than that, I'm not really sure. Probably something black because I always journal in black. So anything I find that's black, I could definitely use. So I will scrounge through my stuff to see what else will match. I've pulled out this stamp set and there's no name on it, and I don't remember who made this or where I got it. I've had it a while, but no idea. So sorry, I'll give a nice view there so you can screenshot it or something if you want to try to find it, but I have no idea. I don't remember. I'm going to use the stamp that says currently reading, and I think I want to do it right here at the top and then do the book photo kind of down a little bit from that. And then maybe I'll do this off center somewhere, or I'll put it like here and work my journaling around it. Not sure yet, but I do know that I want this at the top. I did my stamping. There it is, and it turned out great. I'm happy with it. And then I decided to do the photo off center to the left. I'm going to make some journaling lines. And then I'm also going to take the adhesive wood veneer and put it down here off center to the right. And I'm going to do my journaling lines around it, just to make it a little bit more visually interesting. So I will adhere this now. I can get that done at least. And then when I make my journaling lines, I will go off camera for that. That's kind of boring. You don't need to see that. You know how to do it. So maybe I'll do this one right about here. I think so. There we go. And I do have to say about these wood veneer, I love them because they're super thin. They do not add a lot of bulk. If you look at the difference, this was my first part of 2019. This was the second part. This was super chunky, and I learned it gets hard to do that because it gets really full and then it's hard to keep it closed, and I don't want the pages to fall out. So I've got to do things that create less bulk in them, and that is one way to do it. All right, I have made my journaling lines going around the photo and the wood veneer, and I like that. I purposely left some extra room at the bottom so I could add something down there. Either I could stamp, I can find another little embellishment of some type, just something to add a little bit more excitement to the page. When I pulled out a bunch of the die cuts and ephemera and other embellishments I have, this was in there. And it just says books. And you know what? That's enough. And I love that it's got a little bit of yellow because when you look at the photo, there is a yellow tint here. So I'm going to put that right here towards the bottom along the left edge, I think. The question is, do I want to go all the way to the edge of the white or just to the edge of the colored paper? I think maybe I'll overlap it a little, just to add a little something. If I don't like it, hopefully I'll be able to pry it up. Let's see. Nope, I'm okay with that. All right, so I have that. I feel like it still needs something else. Maybe I should do like little stars or stamping or something down here. Maybe, ooh, I could do a little bit of splattering maybe. What color though? That's the question. Let me look. I do have this color from Heidi Swapp. It's Color Shine in Patina, and that's pretty close to here, but enough where it'll show a difference, I think. So I'm going to add a little bit of that and just see how it turns out. All right, I've got this set up in the box, and I will do my splattering from here so that hopefully it doesn't get on the opposite page. And I'm a believer that a little of this goes a long way, so I tend to shake off a lot. Maybe a little up top. That's probably good. Less is more in most cases, and that is probably enough just to add a little bit of shine and interest. I will do my journaling once this dries, but I wanted you to be able to see what it looks like there and how much I used. So it's not a lot. And I will just prop this open while I wait for it to dry. And with that being said, for the book itself, I did enjoy it. Like I said, I got it on Chirp, so I listened to it as an audiobook, and it went pretty quickly. It was somewhat predictable in some places, but the ending actually turned out a little bit differently than what I anticipated, and that's okay. That was totally fine with that. But for the most part, it's it's a lighter read. I don't want to say it's total fluff. It's not, but it's a lighter read compared to some of the other things that I've read lately. So it was a nice way to start the year, very enjoyable and relaxing. So if you have any interest, the book is The Days When Birds Came Back by Deborah Reed. You can find it on Chirp, and I'm sure it's in print form on Amazon as well. Thanks for watching.